It's the Full Force News Burst, proudly brought to you by Battle Action Force, the Treasury editions. I am your host, Christopher McLeod, AKA Diagnostic 80. Now let's get into the news.
Full Force!
Hello, good evening and welcome to the show. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone's having a good Thursday. Took me a while to figure that one out. All the days look exactly the same at the moment. It's ridiculous. Yeah, we're talking Snowcat promo images today. We're going to be getting stuck into them. And also probably, I imagine, a much deeper discussion on why so late in the day and all that kind of good stuff as well. Let's get involved. I'm actually also semi-hoping, Kitty said, that we sort of see it funded during this stream. I don't think that's going to happen. We are currently, I think it's less than 100 now, though, to back. Yeah, it's 7,910 for those who know numbers and how to say them. Yes, so 7,910. Not bad at all. Can we get 90 backers between the beginning of this and the end of it, which will only be about 7 hours? So let's go. If it doesn't hit 8K by the end of the stream, I'm sure it will by tomorrow. Is that too much of it? Is that too much? Am I being too optimistic there? Because it just seems crazy. Anyway, if all of us jump on and back 5 now, we'll fund it. Or calm down, bias. We're not doing that. Anyway, yes, lots of promo images to look at. BMAC posted some earlier today on all of the socials. So let's get stuck into that, shall we? Of course, first, though, I'm going to need an explosion. There's your explosion. Right, Snowcat promo images. As we go through this, we'll talk about, we'll talk about the whole situation and all that jazz. Someone says it just went up one. I've just refreshed it. 7,910 is all I'm seeing. Yeah, 7,910. No changes there. Right. So, promo images. Why has it taken this long to come out, I wonder? Well, I imagine it is multiple. There are multiple reasons for this. One, I assume that obviously SDCC was extraordinarily focused in a different direction. There was a big sort of focus on the Cold Slither set, this one, and of course everything that came along with that, like the real band and all that kind of jazz. So there was a lot of focus going on there for SDCC. It felt as though the Snowcat went up. It went up with fanfare for sure. Like, we had the video, we had a lot of in-depth information about it. Like they had the model on hand and they showed it. There was a lot in there, and they took us through the whole thing and what they wanted to do and all that kind of good stuff. So there was definitely fanfare there. We get to the end of that video. And, also, I would also say that the that first day, I'm thinking, oh, this is going great guns. It was like, it was really moving fast. And I thought, oh yeah, this'll happen in a day or two. And it just stopped. It just stopped dead. And then that was it. Yeah, 7,911. Brilliant. 7,911, I should say. 7,911 for those that know how to say numbers properly. So there was a big gap between the end of like that video, the kind of very positive first day, and then it all just went silent, really, which was odd. We got a little bit more at SDCC, where we got a cool display. It wasn't the showstopper of a display, though, I've got to admit. A lot of people were mentioning that. I think in person, it actually would have looked a lot better, and there would have been people in person that saw it and thought it was amazing. But this is the thing, isn't it? That you're having to really hit people with a wow factor, especially when you get to that point in the campaign and you still haven't funded the base level yet. So I was surprised that not like more wasn't done. Like we didn't get these promo. I thought these promo images should have dropped the moment they showed them on the panel. Like it should have been, Bosh, there are all your promo images for the Snowcat. Maybe they hadn't done them all at that point. That's also a possibility. I think there's an element here as well of not having a lot of people working at Hasbro at the moment. Because I mean, that's another thing, isn't it? All the layoffs, and they're so often, and I think there's a lot of people that are kind of doing multiple things, and I think that's one of the problems that we're having here, and why we're not seeing more, especially marketing stuff. Why we're not seeing more marketing stuff here. But either way, we did get promo images today. Now, it's been going now for the majority of the campaign. We're down to the last 7 days, so this is the last week. So if they're not gonna pump with some extras here or some additional information or some other little posts or what have you, then I don't know when that's going to happen, honestly. I do feel like the actual backer number could be hit, by tomorrow or tomorrow. What tier do I think it gets to? Asks Eworthy. I don't want to. Well, I'll come back to the HasLab Sky Striker, right? I don't know why I said it like that. The HasLab Sky Striker. I'll come back to that because this particular campaign is trajectory-wise the exact it's going the exact same as the HasLab Sky Striker. Slow to get to the the kind of the base funding goal. But once it got there, especially that last day, the last 24 hours for the HasLab Sky Striker was just rocket to space. We didn't hit every single tier with the Sky Striker, but we did get to over 16,000 backers, which meant that they were shy of the 18,000 they needed for the ground crew, ketchup and mustard, but they got like some of the main figures prior to that, obviously. So they got all of the tiers apart from that one tier. However, we only need backer-wise 14k. I think that's actually possible in the last 48 hours of this particular campaign, and we've still got 7 days. So who knows? Like, could it jump quite dramatically after 8k? Possibly. Will it? I don't know. After the 8k has been hit, how long before we get to that 10? That's a good question, and I think we do probably. I think we could get to 10 before the 24-hour hockey stick situation. I think we can get to 10k before we have to resort to that last day's worth of power. And that will happen. It happens every single time. It would be kind of foolish not to think that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen this time. It will probably happen this time. Yeah. So at this point, I'm still fairly confident that it can hit all the tiers. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that it won't do that. It's definitely not going to be as comfortable as some of the other ones, but I definitely think this is this is still within that window. Nothing has changed. Since from a couple of weeks back, where I said the same thing. I think the last day is going to be through the roof. But will it hit that 14k for Flint? I don't know. I'm hoping it does. I'd be really surprised if it doesn't finish higher than the Sky Striker. So I could see it going beyond 16. I could see it doing, 17 or 18. That might be a bit dream world. But if it continues the same trajectory and it continues to kind of outpace the Sky Striker in terms of backer numbers, then we'll be fine 100%. And it's literally done that the whole way so far. So yeah. Todd says all HasLabs get a last day bump, even ones that ultimately fail. Indeed. Yeah. Bivouac should have been the last tier, says 3-star draw. You would say that because you want that Flint figure. And that's why they've put Flint on the last one, because everyone wants that Flint figure. Mark says 14,001. Hashtag 14,001. I'll be up for that. Barking Fridge says actually it'd have to be more than that, because it's weird sometimes when you get to the last number you see like a bunch come off the back end like the next day, so fingers crossed it hits like 16k and you got that buffer to really like lose a few at the back end. And I don't know what that's about, whether it's like, you know, accounts not being confirmed or whatever, or like a, you know, like a credit card issue or something. I don't know, but we'll have to see, won't we? The Rancor had a last day drop. Yes, it did actually, Scott. That was a shame. No, this is not it for picks. Sorry, RKW. You know, there's loads to get through. So I'm just trying to multitask, which, you know, I'm not very good at doing. Anyway, so yeah, here we got some shots of Frostbite looking out the wind, looking at his cockpit, with the one the side of it kind of slid up, kind of all kind of like showing off that he doesn't have to open the entire thing to get out. And then a shot of the kind of like the missile system spinning, or showing the fact that you can spin that missile system around. Cool. All nice and all well and good. We then have these terrain shots, which show a kind of shot from a distance and a shot more close up, of course, of the Snowcat. Sort of like how you can adjust the wheels to make it look like it's climbing like this, which is amazing. I'm sort of hoping you can actually pose that without, you know, like you just lift it up and it poses like that. That'd be amazing. Remember those hilarious Rancor images that were photoshopped to have it be a Cobra figure? I do remember that, Steps Toys. I do. It should be like football, just needs to cross the line to be considered a score. Right, exactly. Toys equals midlife crisis squared says, tired of the negativity against this HasLab. I honestly think it's just negative engagement to boost content views. I think there's a lot of that in general, for sure. Absolutely, for sure. So I definitely think there's an element of that in general, and it's just got worse and worse as time has gone on. You know, that runs the algorithm for the most part. Negative kind of like car crash sort of, you know, scandalous, bad, taboo stuff is the stuff that runs the algorithm, unfortunately. Christoph Black says I'm thinking last day drop. I don't think he'll have a last day drop. I'd be very surprised if it did. But if it does, Christoph, you can come back and say, hey, I said it. Here's the screenshot. Flaffle says, without new figures, less large quantity purchases, people buy a bunch and scalp figures for money. Can't do it with basic repaint figures. Right, okay. Steps Toys says, Rattler had 2 repaint figures, didn't it? Well, they're not repaint figures, though, are they? In the Snowcat, you're talking about two different versions, though, with different. You know, it's not like there's new stuff in both of those figures, so I don't, you know, very much new. They're not repaints. Remember, kids, this is only classified HasLab with no reason to rush. No early bird figure, no unlock figures, no votes. There's no rush this time like usual, but this, I mean, last minute can be huge. Yes, Couch Boy, I kind of, yeah, they haven't really pushed the urgency on this one, which is surprising, I must say. And I think one of the other things to mention is they've probably done it on purpose. They've probably spread it out and thought, well, let's do like the last week. Let's focus the last week on you know, if we need to get to kind of push it to the end. But like prior to that, they were probably, you know, all the other things happening. SDCC was massive and took a huge chunk of the attention away. Then of course there's all the stuff that's coming in, which is affecting people monetarily. So rather than having like a nice clear runway with no like incoming figures, like just being not being bombarded by those figures, then and all the payments that you have to make for those things that are coming in, if you have a clear runway there, then that is way more preferable for a campaign like this, because people can just go, yeah, I can afford this, no problem, let's do this, bang. But the fact that, and you've seen it like recently, loads of people posting Snake Eyes and the Polar Bear, the Cold Slither box set, the most recent 4-figure wave of Darklon Footloose, Blowtorch, Frag Viper, the Target Breaker coming in, Crystal Ball showing up, Night Force 2 packs, like all of this stuff is coming out at once, and it is obviously hitting people pretty hard in the wallet, the cash flow area. So that, I think that does have a bearing. Clearly, it's had a bearing here, I think, because people don't feel like they've got that necessarily that freedom to sort of just go directly into this. What we saying? Frostbite is, yeah. Sorry, I've missed a few comments. My apologies. When this thing hits 88 backers, you're going to see some serious. Thank you, Scott. There's a reference to Back to the Future there. Todd says you need to hold your hands up and ask the world's population to lend you their spirit energy on the last day. I'll do that. Justin says would have liked it better if they would have included real Arctic Joes like Iceberg, Blizzard, and Whiteout. Iceberg and Blizzard, I've got to disagree with you. They're mainline figures. 100%. Iceberg's coming. So we're getting Iceberg, Justin. We know that. That's been name only revealed. Blizzard, he's too mainline. There's no way you can put him in, like, unless it's Tiger Force Blizzard, in which case, yes, please. I'd suck your hand off for that. The patches sold the Rattler, says G Baird. Yeah, it did. I always wonder if they hold something back as an extra incentive just in case, and then we see it later as an individual release if not needed. I think lots of development goes into this that might not see the light of day, but I don't think they hold something to then go to like tooling and all that stuff with it. I don't think, because again, there's a balance with these things, and I think what you see, why they show you everything up front, is they've done the math, and they've gone, okay, even if loads and loads of people jump in on this and makes it like, millions of backers, that would actually be detrimental to them on the back end because of what they have to make after it. So there is a balance to this. Weirdly, you can go a bit too far the wrong direction. And people have found that out to their detriment. Tooling is an expensive business. It really is. I think the whole thing feels rushed and unsupported. Not having these images in the beginning and showing off a brittle, unfinished model in the video didn't get it off to a good start, says 3-star Drawl. I don't know. I'd hardly say that it was a brittle, unfinished model. It was a pretty solid model. It looked really good. I don't really have an issue with that. I will say, I wouldn't say it feels rushed. I feel like it feels. I think the second part of what you said actually is probably something I actually feel a bit stronger with you on that one. And the unsupported element, it feels a little bit more neglected over this entire campaign. One video to set it off, and then nothing until these promo images, because you can't really count what happened at SDCC, because, like I said, it wasn't the tent pole, it wasn't the main event sort of situation. So yeah, I do agree. I think, like, if we're getting to this point and we haven't done anything other than that opening video, yeah, I agree with you. Going through the images as well as I move. Mark says they may have been overconfident, but they should, because it's awesome and their HasLab track record is 3-0, 4-0 technically. But yes, it is a good point. Love those patches so much. Keeping them safe in the box, says Sean. Brilliant. Bias says not just the volume of figures, it's the type of items. Most are $50 and above. Yes, like the claw and Snake Eyes and the polar bear. But also, I would say you could just say not just the volume of figures, but you are saying the volume of figures, Bias. Whether it's $50 or not, they're all at the same time. It doesn't matter. Like, they're all at the same time. the cost is what it is, and that has literally had an effect, you know, in a massive way. Like the the nature of classified is multiple price points. You're not just going to have 24.99 figures coming in around this time. You're going to have all of those different ones. So yeah, like there's so many of those sort of like more deluxe packs, and that really bumps the price up. And then, of course, the SDCC Cold Slither set, which is like 124.99, which is a great deal for the 4 figures and instruments and beautiful packaging box set. But when you're in the middle of one of these situations, yeah, you 100% want to kind of, keep that runway clear, as I said before. A 2010 whiteout would have made a perfect tier in this. I agree, Blitz. And that was also mentioned by Justin Ingram. And I've got to admit, I think whiteout is a good shout, because you could mess about with him. You could make him like a lot different to Frostbite, obviously, but it would be kind of cool to do whiteout for sure. I've missed some comments, sorry. The snake armor, says Jason. Yes, that's another one that's come in for a lot of people. The sheer volume getting slammed from June to December this year is insane. It kind of is. What are the problem is the delays that they had early on in the year. Most of the stuff that we're getting now, we should have gotten in May. So this is not helping them as well. Yes, Gil, this is all because of the previous delay, which bumped everything along or pushed it further away. I want to say it's been like, well, you can see what's happened because it's affected. If you look at the listings, they're sort of all over the place. You've got like that one retro figure that didn't end up or the one retro listing that is now inactive. You've got a bunch of different figures that were kind of moved around in terms of the listing numbers in the retail waves of 4. Stuff that was kind of like, pushed and delayed. So all of this is part of the problem. Absolutely. This will back and be the most valuable one for sure, says Couchbro. That would be funny if it was. If this ends up being 29 to 30k, I'll be impressed. I'll also be like really happy, but I will also laugh very hard, because what an absolute joke if that is the case. Although it's funny, was the Rattler was the slowest performing of Dragonfly and Hiss Tank, right? Or was the Dragonfly the slowest performing one before that? Because obviously the Rattler finished with the record numbers, but I feel like it didn't start as strong as it certainly didn't start as strong as the Hiss Tank, but I think it probably did better than the Dragonfly earlier. And I have to look at the Geek Dad Life page again for that one. Flaffle says, good point, Chris. Maybe Hasbro is going to wait and just PR for the Spike BS. Probably. Many $100 in the last month. Shame Hasbro can't get the distribution fixed with Joe. Sean, we know why it's happening though, don't we? We know why it's happened. They told us last year we had this huge delay. There's not much you can do about it. Unfortunately, it's just all landed at probably the worst time for them. I wish they had these images a month ago. Would have helped in hyping it up. The Lady J looks really good. Totally, Walters, but it's here now. So, if it hypes it now, then great. Maybe more Joe fans are just procrastinating until the spike. Possibly. A lot of people are holding back. We know that. But also, a lot of people I don't think are into it as well. I think some people don't like it because they're not really into a Snowcat, or they're into the Snowcat, but they don't want it as a HasLab. So that covers quite a broad range, unfortunately. Then you have people that want it but can't afford it. And then you have people that genuinely hold back anyway until the end. Not even just to wait for the tiers, but just to kind of to give them that, okay, now I'm gonna commit now. So there's 4 levels to the people that aren't backing it at this moment, and the majority of those are probably not going to back it, unfortunately. When do backers not get Pulse get added to the HasLab? When do backers that aren't... Oh, right. I don't know, Wimblade. I don't know how the backers are working internationally. Is what I think you're talking about there. Mask is ridiculously overpriced, in my opinion, says Step Toys. I was going to go in, but now I'm skipping it. Yeah, they're complicated little toys, though. That's the problem. Couch Boy, Rock Snow White Snake Eyes. Snow White Snake Eyes, Couch Boy, is perfect for this vehicle, but I assume the Snake Eyes we get is Dark Coat, Skull Quinn necklace. Yeah, you'll probably get that in the future. All this and still no GTA 6, says Stygian. Amazing. My only question to people is, if you've been all in on the line so far and enjoy it, why cancel now? Again, multiple different reasons, I imagine, Todd. I mean, I'm in on this one, don't get me wrong. Lenny mentioned the size of the snack cat a few months ago. Cool. Sorry, G-Bear. Do you mean he mentioned the size of the snow cat a few months ago? In that it would be massive. The balance is tough for businesses. Got to get people hyped, but not give away something you could make more money on it later. It's a tough balance, says Walter's World. They should threaten to ship Dial Tone as a tier for this. Rancid Dragon Productions, hilarious. I will say, I have heard on the old grapevine that more Dial Tones will be coming. So that's a bonus. Yeah, so in terms of like issues and delays, Dial Tone got caught up in that. So hopefully there's going to be more in the future on that one. The campaign has been lackluster, to say the least. I feel like it has, really. They also failed in the lead up to no little special sneak peek teasers for Storm Shadow. Yes, why I've got to admit, I think if you do little teasers on the lead up to one of these things, not giving the game away, but just building that hype and that anticipation, I think if you do that and you make it a little bit more kind of G.I. Joey or Cobra-y, then you definitely start to kind of build that hype and people get excited, and then bosh, you get it, and everyone jumps in because it's all excitement and rainbows and what have you, and bunny rabbits. I miss the days when we used to get fairly frequent updates on the status of the HasLab. I know, Stygian. Yep, absolutely. Jason says the display was a little busy at SDCC. Less is more. Yeah, they did try and pack a lot of stuff in there, didn't they? BQ King says, I tried to save up for it, but something came up that put me 500 in the hole. I really did want to get this. It was a childhood favorite. Hopefully I can get a frostbite on the aftermarket. Sorry to hear that, BQ King. That really does suck. And yeah, but again, there are going to be other examples of that prevent people from jumping in on this. With Snowcat, Yojo June and Yojo July pre-order total is over $1,000. Well over, Walters, isn't it? Well over. It's not a great economy to be releasing a bunch of figures during a crowdfund. You're right, Joshua, totally. We're going up one every 5 minutes. 20 minutes in, and we're up 4. I could be bad at math, though, says Pass. 7914 is what I'm seeing here. No, 7915. You're right. So we've gone up 5. Yes, that's impressive stuff. I don't think we're going to get the extra needed in like another half an hour, though. Somehow I'm probably preventing it from moving. Anyway, here are some shots of the missiles. These ski pedos or snow pedos. Anything with pedos on it is kind of bad, but they're sticking with it. So yeah, with the blast effects as well, showing those off too, which is kind of fun. Again, these are nice, very slick, very cool promo images. I do love the mountain range in the background as well. That's really cool, and the trees with snow on them. That's adorable. I kind of want a display like this when I get this in hand, if it funds. We've also got some. Sorry, I'm missing a lot of comments. I apologize. I'm going to have to skip, I'm afraid, to get up to date. My apologies, guys. There's a lot of you commenting, and it's all very appreciated, but unfortunately, I can't get to all of them. I'm not calling them that, Viper Scout, but that's funny. What is a sure shot next year? I say Thunder Machine with motorcycles, says Couch Boy. I mentioned that I think on the unboxing of the Cold Slither box set, that I thought a Thunder Machine with motorcycles would be a really good way of doing a HasLab, because you'd get multiple motorcycles in order to kit out your Dreadnoks. It would sort of be like a, just like the most practical HasLab ever. But well, I don't know what they're going to do at the end of the day. The Moray has been mentioned a few times by a lot of people. and that is a good Cobra vehicle. You know, and it's water based. We haven't had water based vehicle. How have we not had water based vehicles? It's unbelievable to me. Any news on Hooded Coco Police Officer 2-pack? Same as it was before, Jason. Hooded Coco, I personally think, is probably back on the table. I don't think there's any mandate in place anymore for that to not happen. So I think that for sure is we'll probably see that within the next year or two. I think Hooded Cobra Commander, and the other one you mentioned was Police Officer 2-pack. What's a police officer? Are you joking? Hooded Coco Police Officer 2-pack, as in the two of them together. That would be great. I see the joke now. I just read it wrong. Sorry, Jason. I love the pitch, says Flaffle. All-terrain vehicle for any environment. All photos involve snow. I think this will be the first JoJo HasLab that doesn't make all the tiers, says Roland. Well, it wouldn't be, because we've already had the Sky Striker. We've already talked about this. This will be the first classified HasLab that doesn't reach all the tiers, if that is the case, Roland. But it's not the first G.I. Joe HasLab that hasn't made all the tiers. The Sky Striker did not get the ground crew. What else is left that they can turn into Tiger Force? Brian, Dragonfly, the Tiger Sting, aka the Stinger or the Vamp, this, if this ever came out. Tiger Hiss would be a bit of a hiss take, wouldn't it? But I don't think that's going to happen, honestly. But that's what they've got left, I think. A coil, a Tiger coil. I would jump on the Thunder Machine HasLab with motorcycle, says Justin. Moray 2026 says Blitz. I don't want a Sky Striker. It's too big, like the gunship. 5-foot toy does me no good, says Couchboy. Step Toy says, give me a wolf to go against this. Oh, yeah. Moccasin, says Couchboy. Thunder Machine is literally just the Vamp with the small front piece added. I'd be peed if that was a HasLab. Well, that's why I'm saying, Rancid, that you include other things with it to make it more, you know, to make it more. But if they can do it at retail, then I think a Thunder Machine can be done at retail, to be perfectly honest. After all the rumors, I will trust no rumors for future HasLabs. Just will wait for announcements, says Yojo Reviews. Very good stance to have. I don't want a water vehicle. It's too weird when you display it. Well, Steps Toys, they could have, it's just like having a flight stand, I should imagine. They'd probably have like a sort. I think what would be really cool is if they had, well, the Moray has the two things that come out the front. So you like almost like little kickstands. So you could definitely kind of like display it like that, I'd imagine. They'd probably add those. Alternatively, what would be really cool is to have a water wave sort of designed stand for it, that it could kind of be on the side and up a little bit on a wave. I think that would be freaking rad, personally. 2026 Devilfish Feet retail release for the Joes. Moray HasLab for Cobra. That'd be cool, Bad Wolf. I'd love that. We get in all tiers, never in doubt. Breathe easy, trust in the community, says Mr. Roper. I hope so. Cropstar needs Flint, and so do I. Not a Tiger Hiss, a Basilisk, says Steps Toys. Yeah, Basilisk was a Cobra Snowcat. So yeah, we could definitely get a blue Snowcat in there for sure, Steps Toys. Rest in peace, ketchup and mustard. I know. Tiger Barracuda would be sick. Yes, it would pass. Brian says Tiger Force from recycling the HasLabs. Those would be the next HasLab. That'd be hilarious. Google the new Black Series Royal Guard, all white in a white gown. He lights more crosses. Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to read that, but yes, Couch. I would say, in regards to Hooded Cobra Commander, based on the fact they've just released that Black Series, what is it, like a Halloween special? Yeah, I don't think the Hooded Cobra Commander is going to have any issues, personally. Even just a night landing craft or a flotation device. I hope Deep Six comes with Shark, says Jason. Dream Project remains a 4-inch Transformers crossover Metroplex Joe HQ. That would be amazing. Anyway, sorry, you get loads of comments. Anyway, I will continue looking at images with you guys. This is a cool one of him fixing the treads. That's really dope. Or the not fixing the tread necessarily, but he's fixing one of the wheels within the treads, and he's also unloading one of his ski pedos. because that's not dangerous at all, is it? He's also, oh look, the missile. Look, guys, the missile rack is off the back of the vehicle and is on the ground like a missile unit, on like a separate unit. A lot of people have been saying, oh, will it be able to come off and be used? Well, maybe this is them maybe playing a little bit of trickery here. But at the same time, there you go. That's pretty dope. Scott says, unload. Nah, bruv, he dropped the crate. Actually, yeah, does look a little bit like he's done that. Yes, steps says on the ground, but with the base hidden. It's like Rob Liefeld's feet, like Rob Liefeld feet, indeed. Yeah, so I think, well, then again, I do think there's also an element here where they're not allowed to show things that can't actually be done to some degree. So I wonder if that is like a little kind of heads up that, yes, they are doing that. The missile rack will be able to kind of like freely stand elsewhere. I hope so, because a lot of people want that. And then, of course, we have these shots, the back down, which actually looks really dope, actually, doesn't it? I'm the more I see this, the more the details I see of this, the more like blown away I am, genuinely. Kayak rack to replace one of the ski pedo crates, question mark, Flaffle. That'd be cool. I wish missile rack could have raised to be an armed roof for the troop carrier. Yes, I see what you're saying there, Josh. So the whole thing comes up and becomes a roof rather than just being removed and everyone's out in the cold. I do sort of feel like that's a missed opportunity on that one. Definitely. Mr. Rope says, I heard Lenny in an interview say that they have made the necessary adjustments to have the missile launcher be on its own base unit on the ground. There you go. It's all done. SDCC interview, done, dusted, officially covered in ketchup and mustard. So yeah, but I do think there's a couple of missed opportunities here. I think a missed opportunity for, if you're going to remove that section and have the missile launcher come out, to not have a replaceable roof, even if it's just a simple, like, plastic shell type plop on the top sort of thing, or even just, a bit of material like the bivouac, or the bivouac itself becomes a little roof that can, open out over the top, utilizing the the kind of like arms and the bits of the the poles and everything of the tent, of the bivouac. Then that would have been great. The bivouac being like the roof for the back of the troop carrier would have made a lot of sense to me personally. Like, I feel like that is a bit of a missed opportunity personally. If they do manage to pull something off there, Kitty said, that works, or if you can kind of almost accidentally do it, then we're in, guys. We are in. But yeah, I do think that was a missed opportunity, not doing a roof for the troop carrier element, because they are going to be, and this is me on one side being like, guys, it's G.I. Joe, it's not real, but also being a little bit like, yeah, they're all going to die in the back of that thing, in the open air, while it's moving, in the freezing cold. Yes, they might be, the ones huddled next to the bloody hot engine might be okay, but anyone else kind of sitting towards the back end is going to have frostbite on their friggin' everything. They're going to have to be properly geared up in order to be troop carried. Anyway, the bivouac can be packed away inside the Snowcat, Flaffle. It can be. I'm talking about making it the roof. Make the bivouac the roof for the troop carrier. I'm not talking about packing it away. I'm talking about making it a roof, because at the moment they're going to be exposed. They're all firing all directions, no roof needed. Fine. Medevac compartment like Humvees have, says Barking Fridge. That would have been cool. The missile launcher array should become a battle station in and of itself. It does, Father Son. It does. That's what we've just been talking about, and what Lenny has revealed, and what is being shown off on that image there on the left-hand side, which is cool. Here we see Frostbite just hanging out at the front of the Snowcat as well, just with his little wrench, fixing something else now, are you, mate? Here we see the front shot of the Snowcat. I'm definitely going to have the icy windows the messy icy windows, tampos. Now, I've also been told they are stick on and removable stickers, so they're not just they're not just on and they're on forever. You can remove them and put them back on and remove them and put forever. So if you want a different like display, you can have those kind of like different stickers on the windscreen. But if you are kind of getting bored with it, you can change it. So it's not the end of the world, and you can go back again. You can just keep doing it because it's one of those special stickers. Lovely stuff. Paul says the bivouac roof would be cool, but I don't get the freezing part of it. They are wearing Arctic gear, and if they'd freeze on the Snowcat, then they'd freeze on the polar battle bear. I get what you're saying, Paul. I'm talking about the fact that if you look at the figures that come with it, Flint and Lady J, their faces are exposed, and in the movement on the back of that thing, I get what you're saying. But if you're on a battle bear, it's the same thing. Like if you're on all of these vehicles, then you're gonna have to be geared up for sure. But all I'm saying is I think a roof would have made a lot of practical sense, personally. Gung Ho and Quick Kick don't need a roof when out in the snow. Good point. Quick Kick doesn't even need shoes. Thank you, Rancid. If Quick Kick didn't need shoes, a roof isn't necessary. Okay, guys, I get it. I get it. I'm just saying, how cool would it have been if that became an element on the Snowcat? I think that's a cool feature personally, and a missed opportunity. And I will die on that hill of it being a missed opportunity. Then you've got the engine shown there, which is kind of awesome again, and also the storage for the tools inside the little door flaps. Very nice indeed. And then here we've got the winch in operation, which is also really friggin' cool. Now, does that open up and come out? Does it like flap? Yeah, that's it. That's really cool. So you've got like a little yellow bar that like a handle that opens up at the front, and then the winch can come out. That's rad. It's the first time I've seen that. I just thought it was an exposed winch. I hadn't really paid attention to that aspect. So that opens up and the winch comes out and it stores away nicely. Oh, that's lovely. There you see the bivouac being stored in the trousers. No, you see the bivouac being stored in the chair sections on the back. I think the Thunder Machine should be a troop carrier, says Blitz. Just every vehicle just becomes a troop carrier from now on. A whole lot of people in the chat at risk for frostbite, exposed to the elements, must live in Nevada or something. Indeed. 1134 comics, or 1134 comics, or 1134 comics, or 1134, or 1134 comics. Any of those options, right? I do like this set. Huge fan of the camping, cooking stuff, actually, but I have been going back and forth for a variety of reasons. See, there's another one. There's another situation, another different scenario. I agree with you, Chris. The roof is a missing opportunity, says Terry. Steps Toys says, do a HasLab BET with Globulus. Now you're talking my language. Anyway, cool storage options, cool winch option there. Very nice. Here we see Flint and Frostbite in the front, the cockpit, keeping warm. Lady J in the back, freezing to death because she hasn't brought the right gear. And here they are as well in the bivouac, making some sausages. Lady J's just come back from catching some fish. There's so much cool stuff in this bivouac set. It's so good. Right hand photo just screams robot chicken. It kind of does, Bias, actually. It kind of does. Couchboy says storing 10 figs in back is a troop carrier for real. Holds 12, right? The Thunder Machine, you'll just sit on them, the giant like blooming rocket booster, can't you? Can we get an action shot of Lady J bashing a Viper with a coffee pot? Probably, Flaffle, at some point. Gil says, oh, that's good to know. I didn't think the bivouac could fold up and go inside of the storage compartments on the Snowcat. Yeah, it was something we talked about in the interview, or they mentioned, they didn't mention it on the video. We talked about it in the video, and then shortly after that interview with them, that they were saying in that interview, yeah, we're wanting to make it so that it goes in there, but the model wasn't finished properly, so we couldn't show it off. So effectively, they'd had it done, and could do that, but they couldn't show it actually happening. So they didn't say anything in the video. I think that's how it went down. Next HasLab is a COS of the tour bus. That would be amazing. Left photo, but it says Flint and Frostbite just had a discussion about why she can't sit up front. Twisted says, I just see Thunderbirds in that cockpit shot. Yeah, it does a little bit Thunderbirdsy, isn't it? It is a little bit. Tariffs are attacks on, well, yeah, sorry, you guys are talking about that. That's fine. Yeah, tariffs could have an effect for sure. I mean, they're going to have an effect in general. So yeah, I think they're going to have an effect. It's just part of the whole current situation economy-wise, isn't it, for everybody? Economic situation, I should say, for everybody. Would be cool if there were swappable treads, tires, and canopy with the snow for both weather situations, says Rancid. Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, that would have been kind of neat. Starts to build up a little bit though, as well. And so yeah, I think there's an element there of, we've kind of seen what the balance is for something like this. Paul says, next HasLab, they need to do a better job at showing all the features and building a narrative around it where they can market it better. Yes, agreed. Grizzlehorn says, this HasLab just isn't for me. Does it make me a bad Joe fan? Not at all, Grizzlehorn. Not at all. Some people aren't into it, and that is fine. There were some people that weren't into the Rattler. There were some people that weren't into the Dragonfly. For the most part, I think people were into the Hiss Tank. But yeah, there was a lot of like, there's always going to be someone it's not for, and that doesn't make you a bad person, doesn't make you a bad fan, doesn't make you a bad anything. It just makes you a human being, and that's fine. Snowcat carries 12 figures, right? 2 in front, 10 in back. I don't think 10 can fit in the back. That's crazy massive. Unless you start like putting them on foot pegs and stuff all the way around, kind of thing. But like, I think in the back, that little troop section, I think you can only get, was it 4, maybe 6 at a stretch? I don't know. Do you guys know? Because I don't remember them saying 10 or 12 for that matter. We are at 7,917 now, so it's gone up again. Brilliant. Oh, Paul, are you doing Thursday night battles tonight? Sorry, mate. I should finish soon, shouldn't I? So you can do that. Not saying that you wouldn't do it just because I'm on the show, but like you're watching this, so you might want to. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I thought it was 4. Oh, the vintage could fit 10. I see what you mean. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I thought you meant this one. No, the vintage could fit 10 figures. That's crazy. On foot pegs, I imagine, because there's no space to sit or go anywhere other than like on all the way around sort of thing. Lenny said 10 can sit in back, I'm sure. No way, mate. Not a chance in the back of there. Not a chance are 10 people sitting in the back of that troop carrier. It's not happening. It's got to be pegs, and it's got to be the 2 in the front counted as well, because there's no way you can fit 10 in the back of that troop section. He said like it's a squeeze with 4, and you have to have it so that their legs interlock. So that immediately kind of like kills space either side. So anyway, so those images, lovely stuff. And I love that little fire. That little fire is amazing. I love that you can take it off and it's got like the embers and like the burnt wood and everything underneath. So good. There it is, in fact. Here's Lady J as well with a spear out. Something's happening. Can't tell what's happening, but something's kicking off. Frostbite's just getting the coffee ready. And then a bit more of the bivouac there, which is nice. He said 2 on each side, alternating knees. Yes, he did. Yeah, he did say that. 4 people in the back of that thing. Yeah. But there may be storage for 10 in total. 2 in the front, 4 in the back, and then like dotted around foot pegs around the outside, sort of thing. So it could be 10 in total, not 10 in the troop carrier section, if that makes sense. They're all troops, they're all being carried, so it's a weird thing to say. Do they have foot pegs up where the boxes open up for the ski missiles? Because that would be 2. Yes, I believe they do. Yeah, it's 10 in total, I believe. Yes, not. Yeah, talking about those in the back section, you've got 4 that sit down, But like everyone counted, like everyone in total, the 2 in the front, 4 in the back, and then either side. Yeah, you can probably fit 10 on the whole vehicle. That was not the comment that was made before, though. Right, next images are some bangers. Snow, frostbite, giving it the big one on the snowboard. It's funny. I'm surprised they didn't do another snow serpent kind of copy here, where you had it like kind of like upside down, inverted, doing some crazy stuff. I hope they re-release Snow Job. That'd be a good gesture. Just do an all white version, all white on retro card back. Done and dusted. Be so good. They may be costing themselves sales by having the main image of the Snowcat on the HasLab page be disassembled rather than having those yellow missiles on the back to give it its iconic look. Maybe Studio Henge, possibly. Juicy Fruit is going to move you, says Past Battles, exactly. And then, yeah, the snowboard shot is great, isn't it? I'm surprised they didn't do one of like that, kind of like almost like an homage to that snow serpent image, because that was great. There is a shadow of a person on Frostbite's picture on the right, and I assume it's probably Flint or Lady J or both. But I wonder if they're trying to. I wonder if there's a cheeky homage or something happening there. I don't know. I still have faith in the community that we will clear all the tiers, says G.I. Joe Marvel World. I could see it. I could see it reaching 16-ish. I could see it doing that, and that'd be enough for me. Well, 14 and a bit would be enough for me. And then we get the lighting. Now, lighting is obviously now this new USB situation that the Ecto-1 had. So we're definitely getting an upgrade lighting-wise for this particular vehicle in that regard. Which I believe is a USB charging scenario. So you charge it that way, and you can have it plugged into the mains all the time if you wanted, so that it's always on display. Or you can unplug it and just charge it normally, and then just have it, when it runs out, you charge it again. Pretty simple, really. But I've got it. Yeah, like it's effectively like a lamp. Yeah. USB. I don't know the exact element, Blitz. I assume it's USB-C. I can't remember. Does anyone know? I'm not sure if that's been expressly detailed, but I don't remember what the Ecto-1 had. Hot dog cats, says Michael Carter. Couchboy says furniture. Anyway, yeah, the lighting in here looks beautiful. That readout display is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Was that a snake armor behind Frostbite, says Boba Fett Gaming? I love that you do that to me every time, and you're right to do so, Boba Fett. Yeah, so this is really cool. And also, I think obviously it's said on the video, and they talk about it already, but those little chokes, the little kind of like steering columns come out completely, so you can get the figure in comfortably and then put the steering column back in again, which is really cool. Having USB is such a game changer. Yes, I would say that, Wilfredo, big time. And also the lighting looks really good. Like, it looks very bright, very clear, very intense. Any other words I could use to describe it? Very pretty. I love the night shots here as well. This is really, really cool. I would say, though, oh no, actually no, I think, yeah, sorry. I was going to say I would say I'd like it if when you close the cockpit, it would light up kind of blue, but I think it kind of will anyway because of the interior lighting section on the dash. So when the lights are truly out, let's have a look. Well, you can't really see because those other lights are on there. I'm not sure how the order of operations goes with the lights, because in the HISS tank it was you had to keep pressing it to get different versions happening, like this on its own, this together, all of them at the same time, this on its own, these two together, like loads of different combinations, this flashing, this sticking out, that kind of thing. So I don't know what the deal is going to be with the Snowcat. If it's just the lights are on, they're all on, like, I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes. And there's a nice shot there with the back down as well. It looks this thing does look really awesome, especially with the lights, man. Looks so cool. And then, of course, finally, we have this shot with the backup and the missile system kind of like moving into position to take something out, probably. But yeah, there you go. Finishing on that shot. Now, we are currently at 7,917. So in the hour that this stream has been on, what we got 7 backers. I don't remember what it started as actually, but I think yeah, 7 backers. I was kind of hoping we'd have like rinsed through and got all 8K, but that didn't happen. So it'll probably be tomorrow now, and I hope it does. I hope we absolutely rinse through this. I hope we get to 8K at least for tomorrow, so that we can have like a week of, you know, I don't know, maybe some new stuff, maybe some updates. The other thing as well, I felt like even the Skystrike, the HasLab Skystriker had updates every 5 minutes. Like there would be like an Instagram video of them throwing the figures out of a window with the parachutes, obviously. There'd be all sorts of things. Cobra would take over the stream and then throw in a bunch of Cobra figures. There was all sorts of stuff going on with that first HasLab, and it didn't make it like all the way to the end. It made it to, you know, to fund, and it got the majority of the tiers, but didn't get all of them. Then obviously the HISS tank was a game changer that just blew everything out of the water, and you know, like it was done in like day. It was incredible. Like everything was done. But that also had some really good sort of like hype, little updates, little sort of like hints and teases, and posts every now and again. And then lots of updates. You know, the addition of Cobra Commander as well towards the end. The early bird. There's a lot of things they did in that, which I think I'm surprised we never saw again. I'm surprised we never saw an early bird thing again. But then again, was there a bit of backlash towards that? I can't remember if there was. But who cares if it makes the thing fund in like a day? I think if you'd have done an early bird thing in like the first week for this, we'd have been at 8K like that. And then we'd have just been like, okay, so when are we getting all the tiers? Like, it wouldn't have been an issue. If you'd have done an early bird, and the early bird would have been something really cool, like a Arctic steel core, or if it would be, you know, something like that isn't going to like hurt anything necessarily. I know people don't like troop builders in these things, but like, I mean, the HISS tank itself is just full of army builders in it. It's like, obviously they're all related to the HISS, so it's slightly different. So you could have like a steel core Snowcat pilot or something, you know, Snowcat driver. You could have like a steel core winter Snowcat driver, and then it would be like, you know, not just saying it would be steel core with Frostbite's body, but you could do it like that. So it's not necessarily a troop builder unless you buy more Snowcats, in which case, you know, that you've got the amount that you need, it's all fine. Any of the main Arctic figures, like like an Arctic Flint or an Arctic Jay or an Arctic Snake Eyes or an Arctic Scarlet or an Arctic Duke or an Arctic Quinn, any of those, Arctic Cobra Commander, I use this one as an example. Something like this as well would have been fine. If they'd have done something like that in an early bird, we would not be talking today about, you know, oh, I hope it just about scrapes through 8K. We would be 100% done and dusted, covered in ketchup and mustard already. Seriously. Ice Cream Soldier would be hilarious bargaining fridge, but it wouldn't make any sense because well, you can have a flamethrower trooper, I guess, with the snow team. Just seems a little bit counterproductive, or probably something. Well, also the gear probably wouldn't work. Anyway, we're going to get those figures anyway. Let's face it. All those ones I just mentioned, the Arctic versions, we'll get them eventually. That's going to happen. We even have sort of like a semi-development on Arctic jackets for Flint and Jay. So if they don't use them in the future, then, you know, there's a problem. Anywho, I think that is everything for tonight. In terms of the Snowcat anyway, and I think in terms of conversation about the Snowcat as well, I'm snowcatted out a little bit. I just want it to be done. Yeah. Can it be done already? What I just keep refreshing this page, hoping it would be at 7. It's gone up 1, 7918 now. So brilliant. I'm hoping that by tomorrow morning, it'll be at that point where it's so close, we can like watch it, just keep refreshing it and watching it tick over so that I can make my congratulations for funding 8K post finally that I've been holding on to. But maybe it's because I did that. Maybe it's because I did that in advance. I did that in advance, and that has been like a massive sort of like kiss of death on it. And even then, I wasn't expecting to post that like immediately. Don't get me wrong. I say in advance. I did it like a week ago. It's not like I did it. It's not like I did it on the day. Like, I did it a week ago thinking, well, hopefully it gets there and I can just post this on the day. But anyway, do a telethon, go live until it hits, says Couchboy. I don't have that sort of influence, unfortunately. But that would be fun if I did. Be weird though. I don't know if I'd like that sort of influence on people. That would be so odd. And I don't really buy into the fact that influencers are that influential. Sometimes I think whatever they're selling usually sells itself. 7918. We've gone up again. Lovely stuff. Okay, right. Then we might as well finish with leaked listings. Now, 2025 is looking nice and green, isn't it? Only a few little outliers. That obviously nothing has changed since I last spoke to you about this. The police tactical unit is still a postponed in situation. It's kind of like limbo. But as I have heard, it will be happening at some point in the future. So that will happen at some point in the future. Will it be soon? I don't know. Will it be in like a million years? Probably not. It'd probably be like within, I would say by the end of this year or early next year, but I don't know. I would just be surprised if it's like when we say in the future, I'm thinking kind of near future. Okay. That's where my head's at when I was told that particular bit of information. Now, Short Fuse and Steeler, of course, the Target 2-pack. Nothing on those as yet, but they have gone up. We've seen them. They're out there. It's all good. It's just a matter of when we're going to see them for pre-order, which will probably be the next Target Fall Geek Out, I would imagine. And then, of course, we have the Walmart exclusive Ghost Viper and Dire Beasts. And that, of course, is a Walmart exclusive, and that will be in the fall Walmart Collecticon as well, I imagine. So those are pretty obvious. I mean, towards the end of the year, we'll get those sets basically. Fall, autumn, falltum. Chairface is a listing that we still don't know yet. It's Fanmazon. It's a figure and pet price point, but we don't know what it is. I'm guessing it's Mutton Junkyard Mad Marauders. It could be Crocmaster Python Patrol. It could be something completely different. I'm assuming many things here, and that's why Junkyard ? Is in there. Everything else is green there. Then we've got Pythona, which of course is the fall con exclusive for, I want to say, MCM London, NYCC, and there's another one, isn't there? There's like one in like Italy or something that Emily mentioned. So there's basically a bunch of conventions that all happen around the same time, and that's Python is going to be available around that time, including after the fact on Pulse as well. As we go through, we get to the unknown vehicle Pulse exclusive. Still can't talk about that. Sorry, guys. But hopefully more information will come out of that soon, and we won't have to keep hiding it. And then, of course, the Ralph T is an inactive listing. The figure hasn't been cancelled or, whatever. We don't know what the figure is, I will add. We don't know what it is, but it's not something that's been cancelled. It's just the listing is now inactive. So I believe whatever was in there has just moved into the next phase of retro, which is on the 2026 listings. Now, if you are new to the listings, if you're new to what I'm talking about now, this might be a bit confusing. On the left-hand side, we have retail waves of 4, and you'll notice that I've grouped them in retail waves of 4 until the last group, which is now in like a group of 6. which is only done because of the numbers. I don't know what's going on here. I think what's happening is there's been a little bit of a muddled movement of stuff, and some of these listings may be correct, like in place, and some of them might be bumped and be on the next, group of listings for 2027. I don't know is the answer, really, honestly. I don't know. It could be that they're changing the retail waves to bigger numbers. It could be that rather than 4, they're going to 5 or they're going to 6 or something. I don't know. But at the moment, they're just the listings that we've found and are available. Okay. Down the left-hand side, you've got, like I said, retail waves of 4, but we'll just call them retail waves. I may even remove that number from now on, just because it's just going to get confusing, isn't it, with that group of 6 at the bottom. The ones in purple are new, and I revealed those, I think, last week. Now, Standard Deluxe, Legacy Cow, Legacy Hank. So we know that we've got 2 more legacy figures rocking up there, which is cool. Rudy Deluxe, Bob Pet, Linda Pet. So Rudy Deluxe is a Standard Deluxe listing. Bob and Linda are both figure and pet sets. Tina Deluxe is just another deluxe figure like Rudy. And then the BB Louise versus 2-pack is yet again is a 2-pack, very self-explanatory, that one. But it's like a mainline, I guess you'd call it, mainline 2-pack. Then if you go up to the exclusives on the other side, we have the MD designation, which looks to be Target exclusives. So we've got Droopy, Dripple, and Vavoom. Dripple and Vavoom are 2-packs by the looks of things as well. By the looks of things, they are. I'm just saying it, that they are. And then, of course, we have the Walmart designation, which is JJ. And that is Jaina of the Jungle, I want to say, because that's the only one I could think of. And obviously got Jaina, Montaro, and Ghost, and I think they're characters from that show. And they're Walmart exclusives, of course, all, I think, individual figures, I want to say. I don't know. Can't think off the top of my head. By the looks of it, I think they are just single Walmart exclusives. Then we've got JQ Johnny 2-pack, which is Taurus and Red Dog. JQ being, I think, Fanmazon and Fan Channel, and also Pulse, possibly. So JQ is going to, with Johnny Quest, is going to be utilized for the internal code words for a lot of the rest of those exclusives. So Taurus and Red Dog are Fanmazon. Then you've got Haji Vehicle, which is a figure vehicle set, Fanmazon exclusive. Or Fanmazon, not Fanmazon exclusive. It's a Fanmazon release. Then you've got JQ Race, which is a 2-pack, again Fanmazon. JQ Bandit Deluxe Plus, which is a fan channel. That's what FC stands for. And JQ Bandit Deluxe Plus is an interesting one because we don't really know much about it, other than it just sounds like it's a new sort of thing, a deluxe with extra. Who knows? We'll have to see, won't we? Then we've got JQ Jesse Deluxe, which is a Pulse exclusive. And then a bunch of Pulse exclusives that we only have the numbers for. We know that G2123 is a 2-pack, and the rest are just Pulse exclusives. Then, of course, you've got the HasLab Snow Cat, which we don't have the internal code word for. That's what the unknown thing is on there. We don't know the internal code word yet. And then we have an NYCC exclusive, which is really cool. SO Corvo Deluxe. So no idea yet, but hopefully we'll get some name owner reveals that can start unlocking these things in the next 7 to 8 months. Anyway, that is everything from the exclusive section. Then we move into retro, and of course Dexter, DD, and Mandark are the original listings we had for 2026, and they of course have been added to with 6 other listings, so 9 in total, just like last year, except it was 8 last year because that one became inactive. Mom, Dad, Misspell, Major Glory, Crunk, and Valhallan. And that's Dexter's Laboratory, Dexter's Laboratory or Laboratory, however you want to say it. That's what the DL is on those. So they're going to be internal code words themed around Dexter's Lab. Right. I think that is everything in the listings department that I've covered that we know. Then we have what we officially know in terms of name only reveals. That's Life. So I imagine Lifeline, Hit and Run, Iceberg, and Big Lob and Night Viper to be somewhere on this list somewhere. We just don't know where. Genuinely, I don't. I would have unlocked them otherwise if I knew they'd be unlocked now. So I'm sorry. I'm working hard on it. So we'll find out which ones they are for those listings. Hopefully soon. But yes, Lifeline, Hit and Run, Iceberg, Taurus and Red Dog 2-pack, and Big Lob for the Joes, and Night Viper for Cobra. Cobra a little bit light on name and digital renders at the moment. For Joe, we have the Legacy Police Officer, which again is the sort of in limbo scenario right now. Short Fuse and Stealer, they'll be up for, like I said, for the Target Full Geek Out. And then you've got the HasLab layout of items there for Joe. And then the Ghost Viper with Dire Beasts is for Cobra, and that's Walmart. And like I said, that will be probably up and available for Walmart's full Collecticon. Right, that is everything. Literally. One more thing I want to do. I've got one more thing to talk about. I'm going to quickly have a message from our sponsors, and then we'll come back and I'll do the last little bit I want to talk about. Banger, such a banging tune. Yes, Total Action Force Volume 3 I want to talk about. Obviously, I just did an advert for Battle Action Force Deluxe Treasury Editions, which you can get at totaltoybooks.com in the UK and Europe, and skeletron.com in the US, of course. But Brian Hickey, who brought you those beautiful Treasury Editions, is also bringing us the third installment of Total Action Force Volume 3. This is going up, it's launching on Kickstarter on the 19th of August. We have a date now. The video was posted earlier today, which we shared, so go and check that out, showing you all like kind of things that you can expect to see in that book. Concept art, interviews with lots of ex-Palatoy legends, a lot of really cool development, concept, really cool, never before seen stuff, and stuff we have seen before but not in great quality, that is now going to be in absolutely brilliant, beautiful quality. So yeah, let's get this one absolutely smashed, please, guys. I want this volume so bad, but then again, I want all the Total Action Force volumes, and we've got them so far, so we might as well keep adding to them, anyway, that's the last thing I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to throw that in there. Remember, you can go and check out, like I said, on our socials, you can go and get to the Kickstarter page and be notified on launch as well. Right then, that's me. Thank you very much, guys, for joining me to talk about the Snowcat, which is currently now, we'll finish the stream on the exact number that it's at, 7919. We got 9 backers during that whole thing. Ridiculous. Let's see if we can get it done tomorrow. Stay fresh, cheese bags. And as always, after 3, I think you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full force. Laters. That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. And as always, you can keep up with the show after listening by following on all of our social platforms, links in the description. And if you would like to contact the show, you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback or questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.